Hello Python programmers, this is AK. In this video, I am going to explain about what is meant by TensorFlow and its architecture and how the TensorFlow works in machine learning, deep learning and the neural network. Okay, so definitely this video is an interesting one because in this video, I explained the concept of TensorFlow with the real-time examples. Okay, so it is easy for you to understand and easy to catch the concept behind the TensorFlow. Okay, so if you are new and you want to know about the TensorFlow from the basics, then this video will help you to know about the TensorFlow. So I started the Telegram group. Okay, so if you want to join the Telegram group, the link in the description box of this video. Okay, so the benefits of Telegram group is it is easy to share the code and easy to interact with my subscribers. Okay, so if you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe the channel and help me to reach out 2000 subscribers on YouTube. Okay, so let's start the video. So in this video, I give the answers to the three questions. Okay, so the first question is what is meant by TensorFlow, and second question is we are going to explain about the architecture of TensorFlow, and the third question is how the TensorFlow works in the field of machine learning, deep learning and the neural network. Okay, so don't skip the video, otherwise you don't understand this concept. Okay, so let's start the first question. Okay, so first question is what is meant by TensorFlow. TensorFlow is an open source framework developed by Google researchers team. Okay, so it is used to run the machine learning, deep learning and statistical and predictive analytics of workloads. So the TensorFlow is mainly designed for the process of developing and executing advanced analytics applications for the users such as data scientists and statisticians and predictive modelers. Okay, so this is the quick definition of TensorFlow. One more question is why the TensorFlow is so popular. The TensorFlow is an open source software library. Okay, so you can use it with free of cost. Okay, so TensorFlow is originally created for the task with heavy numerical applications and calculations. Okay, so when you are going to deal with high numerical calculations, the TensorFlow library is very helpful to deal the high numerical calculations. Okay, TensorFlow is popular in the field of machine learning, deep learning and the neural networks. I already mentioned it in above. Okay, so this is the definition of TensorFlow. So the second question is how the TensorFlow package really works. So TensorFlow allows developers to create a data flow graphs. Okay, so you may ask questions, right? What is meant by data flow? Data flow is a structures that describe how the data moves through a graph. Okay, so if you studied data structures in your computer science syllabus, then it is easy for you to understand this concept. Okay, so don't worry, I will explain it. Okay, so each node in the graph represents a mathematical operation. Okay, and each connection or edge between the nodes is called as multidimensional data array or tensors. Okay, so and my point is the word TensorFlow. The tensor represents the multidimensional data array and the flow represents the data flow. Okay, so this is the definition of the term TensorFlow. Okay, so let's get some deeper knowledge about the TensorFlow. Okay, so the TensorFlow takes input as multidimensional array format. So that is meant by the matrices. Okay, and it processes the data and train the data. After train the data, it will insert into the data flow diagrams. Okay, that we assign. Okay, so the data flow diagram that contains so many mathematical instructions that we instructed. So the trained data enters into the data flow diagram and the data flow diagram apply the mathematical instructions into the trained model, and finally it will give the predicted result that we actually want. That's our output. So consider this image A and B and the one output is C. Okay, so A and B are the two inputs that is also called as the tensors. Okay, so the tensors I already explained the previously. Okay, so the tensors are the multidimensional data array formats. Okay, so that's meant by the matrices. Okay, so when you are going to give the two inputs into the node, okay, so the node is like a mathematical operation that we need to assign. Okay, so if the user wants to assign, so if the user want to add the two inputs A and B, then the user need to assign the add operation in our node, okay, performing the add operation, and it produce the output as C. Okay, so this is the architecture of the TensorFlow. Okay, so we completed the 3 questions. Okay, what is meant by TensorFlow and the TensorFlow architecture and how the TensorFlow works. So let's see about how the TensorFlow works in the neural network, deep learning and the machine learning. Okay, so first I will explain about the neural network, and then I am going to explain about the 2 things. Okay, so the first, what is meant by neural network? It's a time for the real-time example. Okay, so I'm going to explain the neural network with a quick real-time example. Okay, so it is easy to understand. So imagine a neural network as a series of doors, one after another, and think yourself as an input to this neural network. Okay, so every time you open the door, you became a different person with a different characters. By the time you open the last door, you became a very different person and different characters. Okay, so when you exit the last door, you became the output of the neural network. Okay, so each door in the case represents a layer. Like that, the neural network is a collection of layers that transforms the input into some way to produce an output. So this is the real-time example of neural network. Hope you like it, hope you understand. Okay, so let's see how the TensorFlow works in the concept of neural network. So in the coordination with the programming languages like Python and various type of libraries such as NumPy, TensorFlow and sklearn and scikit-learn. Okay, so in the case of TensorFlow, it is very helpful for the data engineers to produce more accurate results. Okay, so the TensorFlow contains so many small algorithms that produce more accurate results when you are using the neural network. Okay, very helpful libraries for the neural network scientist to produce more accurate results. Okay, so it will give the more accurate results when we are giving the trained data model. Okay, so this is the concept behind the neural network. So this is the concept behind the TensorFlow that works in the neural network. Okay, so the final one is the machine learning. Okay, the machine learning can be explained as automating and improving the learning process of computers based on their past learning experiences. Okay, so without being actually programmed by the human assistants. So the process starts with feeding the good quality data and then training our machines by building some learning models by using data and the algorithms. Okay, so the choice of algorithm depends on what type of data do we have and what kind of task we are trying to automate. Okay, so it's a time for the real-time example for the machine learning. Okay, so the students, while preparing the exams, they don't actually cram the subject but try to learn it with complete understanding. So before the examination, they feed their machine with good amount of high quality data. So here the machine represents the brain. Okay, and the data represents the questions and answers that are given by the teachers. Okay, so actually they are training their brain with input as well as output. That is, what kind of approach or logic do they have to solve the different kind of questions. Okay, so each time they solve the practice test paper and find the performances by comparing their answers with the answer key that given by the teachers. Okay, so gradually the performance keeps on increasing, gaining more confidence with adopted approach. That's how the models are built. So when the time comes to test on the data, our model scores by comparing its answers with the actual output. Okay, so let's see how the TensorFlow plays an important role in the machine learning and the deep learning. Okay, so the TensorFlow is a Google popular contribution to the machine learning work. It consists of open source set of resources with high data flow graphs. Okay, that helps to generate model graphs and build the neural networks and other machine learning technologies. So in coordination with the programming languages like Python and various types of libraries such as NumPy, sklearn and also. So TensorFlow helps engineers to design machine learning systems effectively. The TensorFlow library has its own collection of data flow graphs that help with machine learning classifications and the perception and the discovery of new networks. Okay, so it can be used to create a deep learning model, or other wrapper libraries can be built on the top of TensorFlow. So essentially, the TensorFlow offers a key piece of ecosystem of tools, libraries, and community resources for the innovation of the machine learning and the deep learning and the neural networks. Okay, so the TensorFlow plays an important role in these three concepts. Okay, so it is the main role of TensorFlow in machine learning, deep learning, and the neural networks. Okay, so that's all. So it is very hard to cover this concept in a single video. So if you want the part 2, I will surely post it on my channel. Okay, so if you want to join the Telegram group, the link in the description. Okay, so you can easily join the Telegram group by using this link. Okay, and keep support me to reach 2000 subscribers on the YouTube. Okay, so thanks for watching and thank you.